One thing that I tell all new print-on-demand sellers is that you need to start working ahead to be able to have a lot of success in your print-on-demand business and give your products enough time to start ranking and be able to make sales by the time that trend or holiday comes around. We might only just be in March, but it's already time to start thinking about posting designs for May. One of the biggest holidays that I make tons of sales in every single year is Mother's Day. There are so many different ways to target this, and I've had a lot of success doing that. Sometimes you'll hear print-on-demand sellers saying that they make the bulk of their sales towards the end of the year during Thanksgiving and Christmas, but a lot of times those sales during May and June, because of Mother's Day and Father's Day, have made my sales very, very good as we start to head into those summer months. So today we're going to be going over some big Mother's Day trends that you can target and how to create a winning design for 3 separate Mother's Day phrases. I'm Hannah, and on this channel I share about all things print-on-demand and making passive income. So if that's something you're interested in, I would love it if you'd subscribe down below for new videos every single week. For all of the designs that I'm creating today, I'm going to be using Kittl, which is an all-in-one graphic design software for print-on-demand sellers. What I love about them is they have so many templates that you can simply take something that they already have and simply make a few edits and changes and have a completely unique print-on-demand item in just a few minutes. Kittl is kindly sponsoring our video today, so I will link all their information down below if you do want to get started with them. They have a free account as well as a paid one, which is what I'm going to be using today to create these designs. When it comes to any holiday in print-on-demand, one of the most important things you can do is have your items be in a very specific niche within that larger holiday or niche. So for Mother's Day, I would never suggest just blanket targeting the holiday of Mother's Day. There are so many different ways that you can take this to get even more specific. And when it comes down to it, if you're buying a t-shirt for your mom or a mom in your life, you're typically going to look for something that has to do with their interest or what they do. So it's always a great idea to start niching down. I've had success niching down with shirts for foster moms, adoptive moms, for moms who are teachers, for moms who are lawyers. So anything you can think of that would be very specific, crossed with a mom or Mother's Day niche, is going to make a great design to sell for Mother's Day. Today, I'm going to cross Mother's Day with another niche that does very, very well, and that is going to be that new parent niche. So we are going to create some really trendy designs for new moms on their first Mother's Day. You've probably heard me talking about it so many times before in the last few months, but that groovy retro style is not going anywhere anytime soon, and I'm seeing the sales just continue to climb. So we're going to go with that theme for these new mom Mother's Day shirts, lean into that retro groovy aesthetic. So let's dive into Kittl and see exactly what template we can find to start working from. All right, so I am logged onto Kittl, and what I typically like to do when I first get here and I'm looking for something very specific for a t-shirt design, I am going to head over to their t-shirt sections and just see what I can find. Right, so right away I'm seeing a lot of amazing designs, some of those even leaning into that retro aesthetic. Right, so I'm going to be looking for something a little bit more retro, so let's see what we can find. After searching for a little bit, I think that this one looks really good. One thing I'm going to always do is click and make sure that we delete the texture on this design. If you are doing something like a poster or a card, it's okay to have this texture and it actually looks really cool. But when you're doing a t-shirt or a sweatshirt, it's not going to print right, so I always make sure to delete this. So let's go over here and make sure that there is no texture. All right, so the first thing we're going to need to do is change what the text says. So I want this to say Mama in the Making. I'm just going to go ahead and change that now. Sometimes you will have to adjust the size a little bit and kind of reposition when you do change the text. Now, when I make a t-shirt, I want to make sure that the text and the graphics are going to take up the majority of the space that is available for printing. So I'm going to make this a little bit bigger and just make sure it's up near the top, not towards the bottom. Now I want to change the colors just to make this a little bit brighter. So this yellow, I'm going to change it up a little bit, as well as I am going to change the background to this light blue color. I'm planning to use this on a blue t-shirt, so I wanted to see what that is going to look like. It's already looking really good, but one thing that I do want to add is some kind of graphic element that we can put in that's going to make it seem like this is more about a new baby. So let's search for the word baby in this element section and see what we can come up with. Right, there are a few different options, but I think this carriage one is going to fit right in with that kind of retro feel that this has. I'm going to add it down at the bottom and then just kind of adjust some of these flowers until I think it looks right. Now that we've gotten our design how we like it, everything is adjusted and moved, we're going to go over to our download settings. So I typically like to have all my designs at least 300 dpi or dots per inch, just so it has really great quality when it's printed. I like that Kittl lets you adjust that here. And then I'm going to make sure to toggle remove background and then also optimize quality and then download that as a PNG that's going to be ready for us to use in our print on demand shop. For my next design, I want to create a shirt that is going to say something about my first Mother's Day in another retro style. Our first one was leaning more into a little bit of that older retro feel. This one, I think I'm gonna want to do something that's more that 1960s, kind of starting to get into that more groovy aesthetic. So let's see what kind of mid-century retro 1960s design we can find here. After looking for a bit, I really like these few right here. All of those could be used really well, but I'm really drawn to this one right here. It's definitely not the colors that I would want to end up using, but I really like that it has that very mid-century retro feel. And when we take a look at it, I can see it's made by Juna at Detour Shirts, which he is an amazing designer with a great YouTube channel. Make sure you check him out if you never have before. So let's see what we can do with this design. All right, for this design, again, we're gonna go ahead and delete that texture here. It does give it a really cool kind of waterfall effect, but again, it's not going to really look the same and translate well on a t-shirt design. So again, I'm just going to start with changing what the actual design says to my first Mother's Day. So I'm just going to adjust the lettering a little bit until it looks how I like. This middle lettering with mothers, I don't think it looks exactly the same as it did before, so I'm actually going to change that text as well as the my to a little bit of a different lettering. Now I'm going to go ahead and start changing some of these colors. I want it to lean into that more feminine and probably going to change the red to something pink and maybe change the blue to be something a little bit brighter as well. Now I'm going to adjust the size of this a little bit. And this surfer guy, he's very cute, but I think we can find something even better for a more girly design. So I do really like that beachy theme. So I'm gonna look up beach and see if there's something else we could use. All right, I like this little flamingo float, so I'm gonna put that down at the bottom and just adjust it until it looks good. Now I'm gonna make a few more quick edits and changes until it's looking exactly perfect. And you could keep tweaking this and playing with it until you're completely satisfied. But that is looking good. I'm going to go ahead and download it, making sure that it is 300 dpi. When I adjusted that, it put this pixels over 10,000, which usually I wouldn't like to do. So I'm going to make it so that it's 6,000 pixels on the longest side. And then again, download it, removing the background as a PNG. We are going to create one more Mother's Day design that's really going to lean into that groovy niche. And I'm actually going to have it say something like one groovy mama. So let's see if we can find something that really has that groovy, wavy text that's going to be super simple for us to edit. Let's head over back to Kittl and see what we can find. Again, there are so many amazing options that we could use. This flower one could be a really cool Mother's Day design. Let's see here. All right, I don't know if you see the one that I'm looking at, but this scrolling down and one has caught my eye. I don't know if you can guess which one it is, but it is this groovy wavy text design right here. Very simple, but it's going to be perfect for our purposes. So I'm going to go ahead and use that design. It doesn't look like this has any texture on it, but I'm just going to double check the layers and nope, it does not. So again, what we are going to do is change what it says. So we are going to make this first line of text say one groovy mama. Super simple, but it's already looking great. I'm going to go ahead and adjust the size so it's just taking up a bit more of this design. And this is kind of an off-white right now. I want to actually add a little bit more color to this design. I'm going to change the color to something a little bit of a brighter white. Oftentimes I just think that stands out and looks a lot better when it's actually printed. Although I do like this off-white color too. I really do like this checker graphic that they have here. And this could be totally great to just go ahead and download and use. But I'm going to actually look and see if they have any hippie or groovy inspired elements that we could add here as well. All right, so I looked up the word hippie and it's bringing me a lot of amazing graphics that I think we could use. All right, so once you play around with the graphics a little bit, you are going to go ahead and download this again. I'm going to change this to pixels and then make this 300 dpi, remove the background, optimize the quality, and then download it as a PNG. If you're a beginner or even a more experienced t-shirt or graphic designer, I definitely recommend using a tool like Kittl that is going to give you a lot of templates at your disposal. Each of these designs just took me a few minutes to come up with and create, whereas if I made them all from scratch and had to do all the transforming and warping of those letters myself, it would have taken me a lot longer. So you can get more designs uploaded in a lot less time, and if you sell just a couple more shirts a month, it's by far paid for itself. So I definitely recommend checking out Kittl and at least getting their free subscription if you've never tried it before. I will link all their information down below in the description, so make sure you check them out. If you want to see how I created some other best-selling designs, make sure you check out this video after this too. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.